Hello and welcome to the Red Dog PPC YouTube channel. So today what we're going to be covering is auditing PPC accounts. So obviously pretty crucial part of what we do here. There's several things that we'll run over today. So it's not all just about the actual advertising, okay? Because there's lots of other things that can affect how your advertising performs. So things like content and inventory. So we're going to run through, the main areas that we would consider when we audit a PPC account today. I mean, as always, it's a non-exhaustive checklist, but honestly, if you start looking through these and you're using all of the points in here to analyze your PPC account, you'll be on the right track. So what is actually included in this review list? So there's 5 parts to this: content, inventory, advertising, customer experience, and accounting. Look at different things in each section, so we'll run through it. The first thing is obviously content. We want our listings to be ready. We want the listings to look nice. We want them to be well optimized. But I mean, there's a few things that you can do to make sure that we're really, really helping for, things like conversion rates and making it really easy for the customer to decide whether this is a product that they want. So I'd say one of the major things, and something we're always constantly pushing all of our clients to do, is make sure that all your listings do have A+ content. Even if you're not eligible for premium A+ content yet, A+ content is just, such a really good way of increasing conversion rates and making sure that, you've got all of the information about the product in a really efficient manner on your listing. I would say with the title, when it comes to content and Amazon reviewing your listing, the title makes up about 25% of what it considers when it considers where to show you against what keywords, your relevancy. So really, really important. Things to include in that are your brand, product line, materials and ingredients in the product, the size, the color, obviously the main keywords that you want to go after as well. So that's an important point as well. But aside from actually optimizing it from an advertising perspective, making sure those things are in there as well is very, very important. Using all 5 bullet points. A number of times that I see that clients just aren't using all of their bullet points makes no sense. Amazon gives you this space for a reason, and it takes it into consideration when thinking about how to place you. So 5 bullet points, up to 255 characters each, including spaces. So you don't have too much, but there's a good amount of space there, ensuring that we're portraying, the key benefits of the product, anything you really want the customer to know. And then something to note is that ensuring your bullet points don't contain like an actual ASIN. So Amazon doesn't let that happen. But also subjective claims. So saying you're the best or the cheapest or, anything like that is really a quick way of getting Amazon to reject it. But also temporary statements. So new, things like that just aren't going to be true for that long. So that's it with the title and bullet points, but then obviously images. So it does vary by category, but up to about 7 images. And of course the video. So images and videos, making sure that they're really, really clear, they're pretty, they stand out, they inform the customer of what's actually there in the product. Really, really important. So then what else? So inventory. This is a major one actually, and one thing that I think that, so it's just really important. There's several things to include in your inventory check. So 1, do you have any excess units? So Amazon doesn't really like it if it's holding on to too many units and you're not really selling them. Makes perfect sense, right? So excess units, we tend to define this as inventory over 90 plus days old. Okay, so there's several different bands, and obviously Amazon's going to start charging you if you're holding too many excess units. So really, really important to make sure that it's a balance between always staying in stock but not overstocking to the point where Amazon's holding all this inventory that's going to last for a whole year. Your in-stock rate, very, very important, means that you need to be in stock for especially your main products. your sell-through rate, so how quickly you're actually selling through these units, and stranded inventory. So I think the main thing here is making sure that, we're trying to keep within 90 days holding any units. Anything excess, we really are trying to push. So obviously we can lower the price, we can add coupons for anything where, we're going to start incurring long-term storage fees. It's just not worth it. So definitely Amazon's encouraging sellers to make sure that we kind of keep a very, very close eye on our inventory and are stocking as necessary. With the ad checks, so again, this is going to be, a much more reduced list of maybe the things that we check. But are we running ads on products with issues? So what I mean by issues is low inventory or low customer rating. So if you've got a small amount of inventory and you're only going to stay in stock for the next couple of weeks, then there's really no point in spending lots of money on advertising. So that's one thing. But the other thing is, what's the customer rating of this product? If you are below 4 stars, I mean, really 4.2, but if you're below 4, you've really got a problem. Anything between 4 and 4.5 is all right. 4.5 above is brilliant. But I mean, if you're below 4 stars, you really need to be looking into those reviews and seeing why, like what's actually going wrong. And making sure that you're not spending too much money pushing these products, because generally the conversion rate is going to be a lot lower, because customers are going to jump on your listing and see that actually lots of people have products with problems with this product. So just something to keep an eye out. Another one is budget checks. So are your ads running through the whole of the day? And this is really simple. You can check this in the budget tracker in the ads console. I would always say, are the campaigns which are performing at the required rate always in stock, in budget? But, that will give you an overview of that. Then review of campaign performance. So how are the campaigns performing? That's a bit more of an in-depth issue that we could spend a whole video talking about. I think things like, are we optimizing bids? Are we adding enough negative keywords? The keyword harvesting, are keywords being harvested from auto, broad and phrase? So really, how is this account being managed? How are the ads being managed? Is there room for improvement? Usually the answer is yes, if someone's coming to you to audit an account. And then obviously, what percentage of sales does each ad type make up? So sponsored products quite often will audit accounts, and 95% of sales are coming from sponsored products. Or sometimes it goes completely the other way, and Amazon stepped in and offered to set up all these campaigns for you, and now you have 70% of your ad spend coming from sponsored display, and you've got no idea what to do. So it's a really good way of pinpointing whether we're using the right amount of budget on each ad type as well. I mean, obviously it depends, but between 60 and 70% on sponsored products, and then the rest between sponsored brands and sponsored display is somewhat typical. But obviously, depending on the account's goals, there could be a wide range of, buffers that you want for each account type or ad type. So it's just using common sense really and saying what percentage of sales is sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, then having a discussion with the customer and saying, does that, sit well within our plans? If not, then, which campaign type should we be focusing on? Where is there room for growth? Where do we need to pull back? So those are just a very, very top level, look at which kind of checks we do on the advertising. Then customer experience. So this is something that is really, really important. Do you need to address poorly reviewed products, update descriptions, images, videos, packaging to address concerns, or make it really, really super clear so the customers not kind of understand what ingredients are in this product, or do they not understand how to put it together or how to use it? Is there difficulty with that? And you can check by, reviewing the comments and the ratings to see whether the same issues pop up again and again. If you've got loads and loads and loads of reviews, you can use AI like ChatGPT or something to analyze for common phrases or issues that are arising in the reviews. Or if you use a software, it makes it a little bit easier as well. Another thing to consider is like the negative customer experience. So NCX rate. So it's just the number of recent orders over the total number of recent orders. So, number of recent negative customer reviews over the total number of recent orders. So how many of the orders have been negative, basically. So that's just a bit of a mistype on my spreadsheet or my presentation. But the number of reviews as well is also important. So are you using Amazon's request a review button? Are we using the early reviewer program? Are we requesting reviews in product packaging? There's a number of ways to request reviews. Amazon can get funny with certain methods, so be careful. But definitely the one that I would always recommend is including review requests in product packaging, because it's like a little insert that comes with the product. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a review. Just kind of means that when the customer actually receives it, they're reminded. You can also set up automated review requests through certain softwares. I know Helium 10 will do it. I know our software does it. So there's other ways of doing that as well. But then also, your return rate. Again, are there any problems with, the packaging, the content, how the product is described on the listing? If there are consistent negative reviews saying the same thing, maybe incorporating certain things into your content is helpful, just to make sure that you're getting ahead of the problem, I suppose. And also Q&As on the listing are also a really, really helpful way. You don't need to wait for customers to ask the questions. You can post questions and answers yourself as well. So that's another helpful way. And then with accounting. So this is something that we really check one main thing when we're looking at a new PPC account. And it's just, are there SKUs with a negative net margin? What that means is, are we spending money on something that's losing money? Okay. So simply the formula is net sales minus total SKU cost is the margin, right? So, but what does SKU costs include? Because as we know, there are lots of different costs associated with Amazon. So very simply, total COGS, so your sales COGS and your return COGS added together. Then your total fees, so referral fee, pick and pack fee, other fees associated, and then add in your total ad spend as well. All of that will give you your total SKU cost. And then you can work out whether you're actually making any money by the time you've paid all those fees and paid the advertising. If the answer is no, then obviously something needs to be done about that. Are we spending too much on advertising? Are we being hit by, massive costs and massive fees? Are we actually at the right price? So, do we need to raise the price? Are we, there's lots of different things to consider here. But generally, finding SKUs with a negative net margin is a really, really quick way of identifying, action points on an account, because realistically, there's no point in advertising and spending money against products that just aren't making any money in back. Or actually worse, a lot of the time we see clients spending thousands and thousands of pounds a month on products that are just losing money. And it's not for any purpose. It's not for, building the product, or it's not because we're in the first 3 months and we're just looking to rank. It's, old established products that are just losing money. And it's a really, really simple way of analysing what's going wrong in an account. So there we have it. There's 5 areas, a couple of points per area. And actually that gives you a really, really good starting point when auditing an account. Obviously, there is no one size fits all approach. So, stepping back from the data and saying, what does the actual account need to look like? What are the goals? What are the aims? Where are we now? Where do we need to be? And how are we going to get there? And I think that sort of approach makes it really, really super easy to analyze an account and kind of start making suggestions. Obviously, with some of the stuff we've looked at today, there is a lot of going through Amazon and looking and pulling data and analyzing. I find it much easier with our software, but obviously this is all very doable manually as well. So, anyone can do this. It's not too complicated, but just knowing where to start is often the best thing. Right, perfect. Cool. Follow our YouTube channel for more, and thank you.